Good morning, everyone. I stumbled on this video. Beg, make una help me watch. Is it true? Could this be true? Something is happening. Oh, watch, oh, please watch.
To take a look at the stories in the polity ahead of the forthcoming general election. We're now being joined by Osita Chijoka, a former aviation minister and the chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. He joins us from the United States. Thanks very much for joining us. I mean, a lot has been going in the general body polity. The APC presidential candidate is singing sabotage, people trying to sabotage the elections. It's like the fuel scarcity and the difficulties in getting the new redesigned Naira notes are sine qua non for such fears being expressed by the presidential candidate. Does your party share this kind of views or thoughts?
Well, it's really unfortunate that the APC presidential candidate can come out at this time to distance himself from the APC misgovernance of the past 8 years. So Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu has confirmed to Nigerians that he does not have the interest of Nigerians at heart. He was here in this country when the APC government went on a borrowing binge and borrowed far more than the country can now repay from his revenues. We can't even service the interest. He did not say anything. He was in this country when we developed dual foreign exchange rates that the central bank was selling at 400 naira. The black market went all the way to 800 naira. He said nothing. He has been in this country when the headsmen and the farmers have been fighting in this country. Killings have been going on in the middle belt, in the northeast, in the northwest, and in the southeast, even in the southwest, kidnapping and killings. He said nothing. He has been here in this country when the CBN has come out with different policies to intervene directly in the economy of Nigeria. He said nothing. Now that he wants to run for president, he is now against the same government that he has not found it worthy to side with the Nigerian people against the policies of this government. Now, every effort to distance himself from the failures of the APC government will come to naught because Nigerians have rejected the APC. Nigerians will continue to reject the APC. So telling us that a few members of the cabal in the villa are trying to stop him is just being smart by half. This is a man who has been in office, who has been together with the APC government throughout all the negative policies, including the non-removal of fuel subsidy that he's talking about. This could have been done many years ago, but because he wanted to be president, he imposed on the government that they should not remove the fuel subsidy until after he becomes president. Now that it's clear to him that the effect of these policies are beginning to bite, he has changed to a new tune. He is not a change candidate. He is the candidate of the establishment. He is the candidate of the failures that we have seen in Nigeria, and he shouldn't shy away from the history and the burden of the APC that he's carrying. We will not allow him to shy away from it.
Right. Well, Osita, we hear you on all of that, but at the end of the day, all of the infightings we've seen within the APC with regards to the accusations and counter-accusations with, accusations of a cabal and the most serious ones that Nigerians are quite, curious about is this allegations that says there's that fear of an interim national government that might stop the elections from even happening on the 23rd of February. You as a chieftain of the PDP and the PDP in general, are you concerned about some of the statements and any likelihood that this is true? Talk to us about the implication of that on Nigeria's democracy.
So why is it the APC candidate that is crying wolf about the inability to conduct an election? It should be the opposition crying. He has turned himself into an opposition in the APC. He has disparaged the president, and now he's accusing the president of treason. That's what he's doing. Planning to impose an interim government in Nigeria is not known to the Nigerian constitution. The Nigerian constitution is very clear. this country cannot be governed by any other means except as prescribed by this constitution. And there is no way it prescribes interim government. So now what we hear from the APC candidates is that the government of Nigeria is planning high treason to truncate the will of Nigerians, to bring in an unelected interim government for reasons that are best known to the candidate of the APC. We are of the firm view that this is crying wolf. As his election loss stares him in the face, as it's becoming clearer to him that Nigerians will reject the APC, he's coming up with all these gimmicks to confuse Nigerians, to confuse the voters that this is a plot against him. And when he loses, as he's about to lose, he would then say it's because the party conspired against me. Nobody conspired against him. He said it is his turn. Now it's your turn to go back and prove that it is your turn. He didn't say he was certain. This is a man that went against the consensus in Nigeria. If Nigeria had a consensus about zoning, it was that the zoning will go around the 6th geopolitical zone. He has gone to the southwest under Obasanjo. They've gotten 8 years as vice president under Buhari. He has gone to the south-south for 5 years under President Jonathan. Only the southeast is the only zone in the south that ought to be talking about the presidency now. There is no zoning to southern Nigeria. There can only be zoning to the southeast of Nigeria. And when PDP finishes, when Atiku Abubakar finishes his tenure, the zoning will only be to the southeast of Nigeria. Anything other than that zoning to the southeast of Nigeria will be unacceptable to us. So the idea of the interim government is a kite they are flying to say that this government, to distance themselves from the failures of the APC government, and that will not fly.
All right, Osita, let me not take you up on your vehemence that after Atiku's own government, there will be zoning is now going to be observed and it must go to the southeast. Let's leave that and concentrate on the snowball effect that is still having on your party, where there's no cohesion. The 5 governors are still, vehement too of not supporting the presidential candidate until Iyorchia Ayu, the chairman of the party, goes. Have they lost steam? Have you moved on?
As you can see, the campaign is moving on. We're still engaging them. And the fact is that it still goes back to the same issue. The issue is that at the crux of Nigeria is the issue of legality and the issue of what I will call convention. So we as PDP are trying to contend with the governors that it will require the chairman of the party to resign. There will be a convention, and that convention will have to rezone the office of chairman. Otherwise, our constitution says that even if the chairman goes, another chairman from his zone should take over from him. That's what the PDP constitution says. So unless we have a convention of the party and rezone, the issue of the chairman going is likely to cause us legal issues. So we're saying to them, you're all part of PDP, you are candidates in the election, let's go win this election and come back and do the needful after the elections.
Right. But, as it even stands right now, even though he has not come out clearly, Nyesom Wike, they want to call him the leader of the G5. Some people are of the opinion that he's probably supporting the APC presidential candidate, and wonder if that is a suicide political mission and why the party, that's the PDP, is yet to suspend him. But beyond all of that, let's take a look at Abia State. That is a state that has been a PDP state since 1999. Unfortunately, there was a loss of Professor Ikunne, and today, a new name has been pushed out there. But do you think, the death and now having to get a new candidate, do you think it will have any sort of implication on your campaigns and eventual going into the polls in Abia State? Do you think, with this short time, that the PDP will still be able to retain Abia State?
Well, it will be tough because a change of candidates in the middle of 3 weeks to an election is always a problem. But I can tell you, we've seen it before in the past when candidates die or lose in the primaries and they bring in somebody to replace him and the party still goes ahead to win. But if we go by the PDP, the power of the PDP is in its structure, in its superior organization. So if that organization, if the governor can work with the Abia stakeholders and mold that organization and intensify the campaign in the next few weeks, I believe the Abia people will see value in the new candidates. But yes, it's going to be a difficult one. Changing a candidate at this time will likely confuse voters, will likely lead to people doubting the preparedness of the candidate, but all that can be overcome by superior organization.
All right, thanks so very much. That's Osita Chidoka, former aviation minister and a member of the Presidential Campaign Council of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. It's such a joyful day. Thanks for coming on News 9.